Hello, hello, everyone. I am checking my technology. I am excited you are here with us today. So give me one moment and then I will be introducing. You know how technology can be, and we are live. We are so excited to be joining you today. I'm very excited to have this amazing woman with us. So let me tell you why we're circling up. So everything in the sacred visibility circle in the community is all about helping you shine as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and really stepping out with your message, because women need you, my friends. So with me today is Nancy O'Keefe. Along with being Aspire Magazine's expert columnist for a few years, she is also a certified certified quantum human design specialist, intuitive business coach, and compassionate transformer who helps women entrepreneurs peel back the layers of who they have been taught to be. We all know that feeling, right? And how they have been conditioned to do business, to reveal who they truly are so they can live their inner truth and build an abundant and sustainable business that feeds their soul. And you know that's what I'm all about. Nancy's also a certified executive coach from the College of Executive Coaching, holds an MBA from Babson in entrepreneurship. I could go on and on. She's a certified career transition coach, Fascination Advantage advisor, and certified in conversational intelligence. So why are we here today? We are here to talk about client attraction using human design. And before we go in, I want to tell you, I believe in this so deeply that every year when my private clients come into my yearly program, they get a reading with Nancy. I think it's so critical for all of us as entrepreneurs to really understand how we're wired, right? And so Nancy, I am so excited to have you here with me today.
I'm very excited to be here. You know me, I could talk about human design just forever. So I'm so excited about that as a tool to help business owners. And what I love most about it is it's just all about being yourself. And it gives you the freedom to be authentic. Some of us have been conditioned to the point where we don't really know what authentic is anymore. And this helps us get back there. And, you know, we work so hard on our businesses when we're trying to be something somebody else tells us that we should be, and we're not authentic. We're actually repelling would-be clients because they can feel that disconnect between the energy you're producing automatically and what you're saying and doing. If there's no match, it creates distrust, and you lose a lot of that know, like, and trust factor. So it's so important to be able to be yourself.
Yeah, and some of your columns have been so popular because it's really about that. Yes, you teach and speak on human design, but because you're an intuitive business coach and God, over 3 decades,
I know. Do we have to say that?
I know, of building successful businesses, right? You go a little deeper in helping us understand human design. And one of the things that I love about your message, because it so aligns with mine, is about authenticity. Energy. And as many of you have heard me say over the last 18 years, when we show up with masks, because of the labels and personas we take on, thinking we got to fit in the world that way or play a role, this is what Nancy's going to dive deeper in today. They can't find you. They'll get to your website and go, oh, I love her message. Something's off. And that's something that's off.
They feel it.
They feel it, even if they can't understand it.
Right.
And so I wanted Nancy here today to talk about how we can use human design to attract our clients, because each of us, according to our energy type, are wired completely different. And if you don't understand that on a deep level, then you're trying to do business against your natural wiring. And that's why it's
right.
Nancy,
and here's a perfect example. The way we're taught to do sales is push, 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 get out there, pick up the 600-pound phone, make phone calls, you know, do cold calling, direct messaging. And that works for exactly 9% of the population. The manifestors can pull that off because they have initiating energy. No one else can. And that's why it feels yucky for people to do that. So they usually don't do it and don't have enough sales, or when it's being done to them, it also just feels like the used car salesman, kind of thing. You just don't want that. So that's a prime example of how we've been taught to do things that just are not correct, and they don't work for the majority. There's no one size fits all. If human design teaches us anything, it's that we are all unique and different. And, unfortunately, in our society, we like conformity. We like people to be the same. We don't like differences. As a matter of fact, differences divide our country. They create, scenarios where we have some kind of prejudice, or where we might even begin to feel negatively about somebody because they're different. But the differences is where the juice is. And if you want to stand out and be recognized and visible for what you do, and Linda, I know you're all about visibility, the best way to do it is to just be who you are, because you're not like anybody else. So I say, it's so simple. The formula is be yourself. Recognize your natural talents and gifts, put them out there, shine your light. That's all it takes. Unfortunately, because of all the conditioning, it's not as easy as it sounds. And I'm all about I love giving readings. I love, doing my classes and teaching people human design. But what really gets me excited is helping people use this information to become better entrepreneurs and better business owners, and, serve their clients at a higher level. It's really just about getting, yourself out there. It's just, unfortunate that we've all been conditioned. But think about, women are even in the fashion world told what to wear. Hey, wide leg pants are in style right now. They don't look good on me because I'm short. And, but most women will buy them and wear them because they're in fashion, even if they don't look particularly flattering.
Here's one of the things too, is what I wanted to talk about, because I remember some of the feedback the first year you did readings for my clients. And my clients are coming to me, ladies, just said, to give you an idea, it's a business mastermind, but they're coming for visibility, understanding their blocks, how to show up authentically in their messaging, magnetic messaging. So you can see why I needed Nancy. I'm like, Nancy, come on, help them understand themselves. And the feedback was, oh my God, no wonder this blank style of marketing for that particular person never resonated. No wonder I struggle, because she's wired a completely different way. It gave my clients such a deeper understanding so they could accept themselves as they are and create systems and processes in their sales and marketing and client attraction that supported it. So let's talk about them, because we all know, well, I don't want to say all. If you're familiar with human design, then there's 5 human design energy types. But what I've learned from Nancy is, yes, we have a human design energy type, but there's so much wisdom inside that energy type, and it's related to client attraction. So can you share, for those who aren't familiar, just the titles of what those 5 are, and then we'll dive deeper.
Sure. There's the manifester, there's the generator, there's the manifesting generator, the projector, and the reflector.
So now, in regard to client attraction, so let's talk a little bit about how each of those is slightly different. Like the manifestor, what kind of energy does it have regarding client attraction, sales and marketing, etc.?
So when you think of your energy type, excuse me, think of your aura, and how your aura can extend out maybe 8-10 feet from your physical body. And that aura has an energy type. And if you're a manifester, which is the first type I mentioned, you have initiating energy. You're here to start things, get the ball rolling. You've got a lot of creative ideas. You're really somebody who is on the cutting edge and the forefront of things. And, you may not finish things that you start, but you're here to plant the seeds and kind of help the rest of us know what direction we ought to be going in. And that initiating energy is, prime and works really well with the way we're taught to do sales. That's the 9% who can effectively do sales by initiating. But the rest of the population doesn't have initiating energy, and it doesn't work for them. When you don't have initiating energy and you put something out in the world, it may not even be heard or seen, because you're not putting it out there in a way that is congruent with who you are. Next, we have the generators. There are actually two types, the generators and the manifesting generators. Together, they make up 70% of the population. And they're the worker bees of the world. They have what's called magnetizing energy. We are living in a society where we believe it's the right thing to do to push everything out there. Push, 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 push your marketing out there, push your ideas out there. When in fact, the universe works on a pull system. And the generators pull things into them automatically. So you have this magnet and it pulls all the right things into your aura. When you use that effectively and stop pushing and you wait to respond to something that comes your way and that you pull into yourself, you have a much better result, much better result. I can't tell you that before I learned human design, the number of things I put out into the world over the last 3 decades, and they just fell on completely deaf ears, or I'd get 2 or 3 people interested. And it wasn't until I recognized that I'm pushing and I just need to back off. And it's hard. It's hard to sit back and say, you know, get all the prep done and then use your strategy, which is to respond, and things will come your way. But I've seen that happen. And I've had some wild successes in my business life in a couple of different areas. And it was all because I followed my right way to do things.
And I still remember, I'm a generator, ladies. And I remember when I had the reading with you, God, 3 years now. And remember I was going, oh my God. Oh, she was so spot on my reading was so spot on about how I market my business. She goes, Linda, you are made for what you are doing. And I was like, it was such a powerful reading. That's when I said, my clients need to know these things about themselves. And so we did the manifestor and generator. And let's talk about the manifesting generator.
Still a generator. The only difference is, well, there's a couple of differences, but the primary one is manifesting generators are the speediest energy on the planet. Again, they're magnetizing, so they pull things into them, but they skip steps. I always use the analogy of the fable, the tortoise and the hare. They're both in a race, and remember the cartoon that was always on, I think it was Elmer Fudd or something, but the tortoise was slow and methodical, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. The hare, on the other hand, was up and back, around, and got to that finish line 3 or 4 times before the tortoise did. But they both got there. They were both successful. The tortoise was just slower. The problem with a manifesting generator is that often no one else can keep up with them. So they can miss opportunities because they're going so fast. They need to look in the rearview mirror and see where the people are that they're trying to attract, because they could be like back there in the dust. But it's the same basic formula with the exception of that speediness. And that creates the need to do marketing just a little bit differently. And for those that got that speedy energy, as you said, they're still getting things accomplished, but sometimes things could fall to the wayside. Well, they skip steps because in their speed, they don't, and they have to often go back. Okay, so they have to be a little bit careful about that. But they're here to show the rest of us how much faster we can go. So that, their purpose is to help the rest of us understand that speed is possible.
You know what I love too is each one of the energy types, as you've been describing them, and I know we have a couple more, is there's so much wisdom within each one. We can all learn from each other. Like there is not one above another. It's just,
right.
There's just, I think it's such a deep understanding. This has been a powerful tool for me, and I love you educating the Aspire Mag audience about human design in a way that helps us understand it on a deeper level, and that's what I love about how you teach it. And anyone, you can go to her Aspire Mag expert columnist profile on the blog, and she has over a dozen articles. So know, like, trust factor, how to use human design in just about any way in business. Right. So be sure to check that out. So coming up next is the projector.
The projector, yeah. Well, generators, 30% are manifesting generators, 37% are pure generators. Projectors are only 20% of the population. They're here to manage and guide the rest of us. So they have an inner knowing, a penetrating energy. they can see inside of others. They see their potentials. They often fall in love with what possibilities could exist with people, not necessarily the reality. And they also see the blocks. So they're very good as guides and as helping people understand, where they are, what they need to do. They're really great at helping the rest of us see where we should go and what we should be doing. And then finally, the reflectors are only 1% of the population. It's pretty rare that you would even encounter one. They have mirror energy. So they're here to reflect back to the rest of us how we're doing. They're here to help human society see if we're on track or not. So everybody has a role. Each energy type has a role. And as you said, no one is better than the other. They all fit together nicely to create almost an ecosystem that helps, us evolve on the planet. And it's so powerful to understand these 5 types and look at your clients through the eyes of type, because it really helps you understand how best to serve them. I love helping other people understand the other types beyond what they are and seeing the differences. That can make a huge impact on the success of your business and personal relationships.
Oh my God, I'm like sitting here going, and I know this client is that. It really does give you an understanding if you understand your client and how they're wired.
And you can, after you look at it for a while, you can begin to recognize, for example, manifesting generators are very easy to recognize because they usually can't sit in their chair. They're bouncing around. I have a friend who's a manifesting generator who stands up to have her calls. And she's pacing in the room because she's got all this energy, and they're like Energizer bunnies on steroids. They just can't sit still. It's easy to pick out some of the types, and it's helpful because you can serve them in a way they need to be served.
Yeah, I think it's so powerful. It's given me a deeper understanding into each of my clients. Mm-hmm. So in the next section, we're going to talk about human design and it being a business differentiator. We all have our natural business differentiator. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, as I mentioned, we're all different. And, we struggle in business as business owners to differentiate ourselves. If you're a lawyer, how many other lawyers are there? If you're a therapist, how many of those are there? How many coaches are there? And it's very difficult to help the public understand why you're the right one for them. And it all comes down to being yourself. As I mentioned at the top of the call, there's no one else like you, and you're divinely wired to be a certain way. And when you're true to that and you're acting from a place of authenticity, you really are, grounded in who you are, what your gifts and talents are, and you're using them and sharing them with the world. You understand what your life purpose is, what you're here to bring this time around. That makes such a difference in how you can serve. It's it's profound. It really is. It's unbelievable. And just having that understanding can help you see how you're different and communicate that in your messaging in an authentic way. Like, you might be somebody who's direct. I'm very direct. I'm not right for every client. Some people that don't like direct, conversation, I might not be the right coach for them, and that's okay. There's plenty of, work out there for everyone, and you want to serve not only your clients, but your right clients. Yeah. You want to attract the people that are right for you, that need you, because that's what's meant to be. There's a natural order of things in the world, and it's different. If you notice in the animal kingdom, there's differences. Not every deer looks the same, and that's true of us too, but we don't like to point that out because differences aren't always valued in our society, which is too bad because, you're naturally different. And if we can embrace that instead of, hiding from it, trying to be something we're not. I don't know if you've ever heard the fact that when you smile, it takes less muscles than when you frown. Well, human design is like that too. I have a little exercise that I have people do. I think we could do it quickly here. Would that be okay? So for those of you that are watching and listening, take a pen or a pencil and put it in your non-dominant hand, the one you don't normally write with, and sign your name. And people tell me that feels awkward. Oh, it's hard. Oh, my hand's cramping up. It looks terrible. Now put your pen or your pencil in the other hand that you do normally sign your name with. How does that feel? It feels effortless. You don't even have to think about it. It looks great. You could do it with your eyes closed. That's what it's like to live in alignment with your human design. When you're not living in alignment, you've got your pen in the wrong hand and you're struggling, forcing yourself to be a certain way. And it's usually a way that you're not really wired to be. So what ends up happening is you are expending a ton of extra energy that you don't have to. And you're going to burn yourself out over time by just being something you're not. So being different is the natural order of things. And it's a differentiation that is so easy. It's just being yourself.
Yeah, and what I love about this too is you said something about, even on our websites, right? A lot of us, and listen, if you guys have done this, I've done it too over the years as you're growing as an entrepreneur. We sometimes go, oh, so-and-so is doing it this way. I'm going to use messaging that's fun and sassy, but maybe that's not your energy type. So when people get there, it's, in other words, my biggest thing with sacred visibility and all my message about feminine collaborative marketing model is exactly what Nancy's saying. Be yourself so that when they energetically get to your site, they're like, oh, I can feel truth in this. But when we hide behind
right
a mask, now everything Nancy's talking about today can go into, is related to your sales and marketing, your messaging, if you're not authentic, if you're not aligned. So I want you to think of it in all areas of business. This conversation is about client attraction, and we're going to be sharing some more. But it's also about the sales copy on your site. How are you representing yourself?
Right.
Are you being authentic in your messaging, your photos, or are you trying to be someone else?
And are you speaking to all the types?
Yeah.
Are you speaking to all the types? Because, they take in information differently, each of the types. And when it comes to the buying decision, manifesting generator buyers are different than projector buyers. And that has to do not only with your energy type, but also your authority. So we're talking about three things today, really: your energy type, your strategy, and your authority. You don't have to know how to read a human design chart to understand those three things. You can go out to any place where you get a free chart, put in your client's date of birth, time of birth, place of birth, and you can get a chart. And on the left-hand side, you'll find energy type, strategy, and authority, among other things, written out. You don't have to know anything else. So everybody can use this as a tool to be in a position to give your clients what they need to be served the way they want to and need to be served. That alone will give you better visibility, and it will also help you have better sales traction, because people will feel understood and listened to and respected. And that's something that doesn't exist in sales all the time.
No, so, I love feminine sales, right? It's about an invitation. I'm not trying to sell anyone anything. I'm going to invite you in. If it aligns, come on in. That's
exactly
the energy.
I mean, the question is, can I help you? That's really the question. And, we get off track when we're pushing ourselves out there and trying to force fit what we do into what we think the client needs. Nobody's served then. All that does is get you a bad reputation, really.
Exactly. And honestly, it kind of defeats your energy, right? Because you're like, something's not working and you think it's you. No, you just don't have the full understanding of the truth of who you are and how to bring it to the world. So we're going to go to the final part, and that's about, this as you wrote about this for Aspire. It's about standing out in a crowded marketplace by being yourself. So do you see the theme here, ladies? Authenticity. Removing the mask. You do not have to keep looking at what everyone else is doing. Be you. That's the connection. So talk about.
You know what? We know who we are, but we hide it. Yeah. As Linda said, we want to fit in. It's very important that we fit in. And, this goes back, it's in the cellular level, really. Back in the day, if you didn't fit into your tribe, maybe you didn't eat, or, you might not have had any protection from wild animals or other tribes. So it was extremely important to fit in. And even today, people will do things that they may not want to do, that don't necessarily necessarily feel right for them in the, effort to fit in and be loved and accepted. So you have to watch that a little bit. It's good to fit in, but you don't want it to run your life to the point where you're not being yourself. And in the marketplace, especially in an online business, there's a lot of people out there. The noise out there trying to be seen and heard is not easy. Thank God for people like you, Linda, because without giveaways and, all the other great visibility things that you provide to your clients, it's really hard to get noticed out there. But if you just stand in who you are, you understand what we've been talking about, your strategy, your energy type, and your decision-making authority, and you are in a position to communicate as you are. I mean, for example, I don't like those long sales letters online. I never read them. If I'm interested, I know whether I'm interested or not in the first couple of sentences. And if I'm interested, I go right to the first button, sign up here. I don't read the whole thing. It's just not who I am. And if you're a manifesting generator, I'm not, I'm a generator, but I guarantee you don't like to read the whole thing. You don't have time for that.
And then others, which one would need a long page? Just to give an example. And that's why we have to make sure we serve everyone on our copy.
Yes, exactly. That's why we put buttons, in the beginning, the middle, the end. People that is more a profile issue than an energy type issue. Some people need a lot of data and information to make a decision. Some people just feel into it. So it depends on how you make your decisions and how you learn and take in information, yeah. And
I know it's like, oh, that's for me. It's a knowing, it's done.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother aspect of your chart, whether you have a lot of the knowing circuit or not.
That's right.
I have a lot of the knowing circuit, and I always know right away. My friends make fun of me because I'm always jumping into the next crazy thing, but I know. And, I don't need a lot of confirmation, and I don't need a lot of data, but some people don't feel safe making a decision unless they have a lot of data. So there's so much you can learn from your chart. But back to the crowded marketplace, when you're yourself and people feel that you're yourself, they're going to really see you for who you are. And it's much easier for them to decide, yeah, Linda Joy is for me. I can just tell by her energy that I would enjoy working with her, because it's more about how you can build a relationship in business than it is about, sales funnels or, pages for whatever. If the person doesn't feel good about the chemistry between you two, that's going to be a deterrent. So when you stand out, you have to stand out exactly as who you are, stand in your values. Values are important beyond human design here. One of my key values is freedom. And I want to teach people how to be free to do their business the way it feels right to them, because that is important to me. I've always been a rebel, much to my mother's dismay, but and I had a lot of wacky creative ideas that, people would look at me like I had 6 heads. But, I learned later in life, when I looked at my chart and I understood it better, that that's one of my natural skills and talents. I'm somebody who can come up with a crazy idea and then implement it because I'm a generator. So standing out is really, again, about just being yourself. And, the know, like, and trust factor is huge. And when we talk about ourselves, don't say what others necessarily say about themselves. Say what's true about you. Like, I'm an innovator. I started the first virtual organization in the country in 2001. I had 50 employees that never came into the office. Nobody else was doing that. We had to build the technology to do it. There wasn't Zoom or apps or any of that stuff. People thought I was nuts. But what it enabled me to do was tap into a segment of the labor market that nobody else would touch. And it was stay-at-home moms, people that had college degrees, 10 years of experience on the job, highly qualified people that made the conscious choice to stay home and, raise their children, to get them on and off the bus, help with homework. I didn't care which hours of the day they worked from home. I had people that got up, got the kids off to school, worked from 9 to 2, went offline, they were tending to kids, doing homework, making supper, and they'd pop back on at 9 p.m. and work some more. And it worked great for them. It gave them the ability to earn the going rate and have benefits just like they would if they got on the train and went into the big city. And yet they could meet all of their needs and respect their values and their choices. That was a very innovative idea at the time. And, you know, I realized that innovation is a big part of who I am, but I wasn't able to pinpoint it until I read my human design and understood it. So
and that's what's powerful. And
yes.
I want to circle back too, because this is about client attraction, right? So this call is about, and I want to share something because as you just discovered, we all have a natural energy that draws other people to us. We already talked about authenticity. And what Nancy calls it is your client attraction personality type. When she first started talking about this in private sessions, I'm like, ooh. And then when she told me that she created something to give us more insights into our client attraction personality type, I got even more excited. We're going to be sharing that with you, and it's no cost. It will give you so much information about yourself, because rather than struggling to persuade others to work with you, why not use your natural client attraction personality type to call them to you?
Right.
So Nancy created the client attraction quiz, and we're going to be sharing that. But Nancy, tell them, because what I was blown away is when I took it is it leads you, once you take it, it's really short, ladies. It's not one of the quizzes where you go,
Yeah, 5 or 6 questions. It's really quick.
I wanted to share that because we've all taken a quiz where it's like page 7. It's really quick, but what I love when I took it is it then brings you to your own personal video page about your personality type. And that little video, I'm going to tell you, Nancy, gave me so many insights. And so tell them about the quiz, and I'm going to share a link, ladies, for you to take the quiz. If you're an entrepreneur, give yourself this gift. Why keep making things hard? Client attraction, when you are in your authentic essence, is easy. It's powerful. I've been living
it. It's effortless, like that handwriting exercise. Yeah.
So tell them about the quiz, what they can expect, and then I'll share a slide that has the link. And I will also, ladies, post the link. I will update the information above the video once the live stream ends, so that is also in the Facebook group.
Yeah. Well, once you take the quiz, there's a video that describes a little bit more about your personality type and how you naturally draw clients into you. There's also a really great handout that covers all 5 personality types, so that you can start to see those things in your clients as well, or your family members, or anybody you're in a relationship with. And we talk not only about the personality type and how you draw people in, but you know, what's the right way for you to do that in terms of, you know, how do you express yourself? I also go into the right sorts of media to use or messaging. You know, where do you put your message? What's the best content for you? And as part of the quiz, which is free, there's an opportunity to hop on a free call with me where you can tell me a little bit more about how you attract clients and your marketing, and I can help you see where you could maybe better align yourself with your type. And then we do talk in specifics about, you know, whether video is the best thing for you. You know, if you're a generator, video is very powerful for you, because as Linda knows, generators run on mastery and passion. And when you write a blog, it's kind of hard to communicate your passion. So a video or even an audio is so much better, because people can hear it and feel it in your energy and in your voice and in your body language. And they get as excited about it as you are. If you're excited and passionate about it, they're going to be too. And that's going to help to draw them in. So it's simple techniques, but they can be very, very powerful and easy to implement once you understand. You have to become aware of something first.
Yes.
But this is not a hard, complicated, you know, 12-step sales funnel or anything like that. This is very easy. But you have to be mindful of it, because we easily slip back into old patterns that may not be right for us. So once you become aware of the patterns that are right for you, I think it's easier to stay true to who you are.
Yeah, and before I give them the link, I'm just curious, remind me, how many personality types are there? So when they take the quiz, there's all different videos, ladies. You will get the video
There's
based on
5.
your quiz
Yeah.
results. So
They
how,
they track with the energy types. So there's, there are 5. Yeah.
okay, perfect. And so ladies, I'm going to show you a slide. You can take a screenshot so you have the URL, but after this video is over, I will be adding the clickable link in the description. So you can take your quiz. Client attraction personality quiz. Discover how you naturally attract clients. You can get it at the link below. And I got to tell you, I would love if you come back to this video live stream inside the group. If you are watching inside my Sacred Visibility Facebook group, if you are watching on YouTube, because this will be going to YouTube, take the quiz and then leave comments below and let us know the ahas and insights that you had about your client attraction personality type. And of course, any other insights and ahas that you had from this conversation with Nancy today. And again, I'll leave that up for another moment. And I am so excited, Nancy, that you were able to join me today. Let me stop.
I'm excited too, because my belief is that everyone should be exposed to and understand their human design, because the insight that you get from that is tremendous. I've always been a coach that used a lot of assessments in my practice. I was a huge Myers-Briggs user until I discovered human design's only been around since the late 80s. And, once I saw the depth and the strength of human design, I really stopped using the other instruments because I felt like they were a bit limiting. I mean, I love Myers-Briggs, and it's very true. There's millions of people that have taken it, and it's still a very useful tool. But I can't fit people into 16 types anymore now that I know what I know.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to be an individual. Yeah.
Well, ladies, I invite you to take the quiz, leave your comments and thoughts below, follow Nancy. Her website link will also be in the post above or below, depending on what platform you are watching. And stay connected with her. Once you take the quiz, schedule a call with her, or feel led, schedule a reading with her. She does offer a complimentary call, but it has been life-changing for my clients, for myself, to have a deeper understanding. I'm so thrilled that she's Aspire Mag's expert columnist, Human Design for Business Success, and watch for her columns. She has a podcast with the same name. So she is on a mission to empower each of you to attract your clients in a way that feels natural and easy. We're done with that other paradigm, aren't we, ladies? So Nancy, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you, and I am so excited that we got together today.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been great. I love getting the message out. Be free to be yourself.
Yes, yay, authenticity rocks. Love you all. Bye.
Are you struggling to grow your mission-driven business in a way that feeds your soul and fulfills your purpose? When you discover your unique human design and divine blueprint, you'll feel empowered in your business, aligned with your inner wisdom, and open to the flow of abundance and success. Nancy OKeefe is a certified human design specialist and intuitive business coach, successfully coaching entrepreneurs for over 25 years. She is passionate about helping you understand your divine design and your personal formula for success. She knows what it takes after creating her own multi-7-figure firm. Nancy helps women peel back the layers of who they've been taught to be to reveal who they truly are, so they can build an abundant and sustainable business that feeds their soul. Schedule your complimentary call today at nancyokeefecoaching.com.